So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at the shepherds said to them, what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured all these things and thought and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had just heard and seen, which were just as they had been told.
Good evening. My name is Benjamin, but you can just call me Ben. Yeah, Ben's good. Benny if you're my mom, but just Ben's good. I've been asked to tell you my story tonight, but it's not the happiest of stories. In fact, it makes me really kick myself when I tell it. But I feel it's important to share this story with people because I serve it as a word of caution, a warning, if you will. See, I was there many, many, many nights ago. I was there when it all took place. You see, it started off like any other night. It was dark, you know, but the moon and the stars were up, and they were just bright and shining, and it was peaceful. It was just one of those nights that I love to just lay back in the grass, in the cool of the grass, and just look up at the stars and think about how small I am, how insignificant I am sometimes in the bigger scheme of things. You know what I mean? Anyway, on that particular night, I was with a group of guys, and you know, we're tending sheep, we're hanging out, sitting around the campfire, and we're, you know, eating and, you know, doing stuff guys do around a campfire, goofing off and joking, and we were having a pretty good time, and it was just a normal night, tending sheep. Then out of nowhere, there was this bright light, and it had the image of a face in the middle of it. That was a first for me. You know, come to think about it, that's an only for me. It never happened again. But it was a first for me, and it freaked me out. I jumped up, and I grabbed my staff, and I grabbed my knife, and I thought, you know, if I'm going down, I'm going down fighting. Looking back, that's really pretty silly. What was I going to do? It's a shining light with a face in it. Not much I was going to be able to do, but it was kind of scary looking, and I didn't know what was going on. I don't know. Did I really think I stood a chance against this light? I don't know. It's kind of crazy. But then it got really weird. This face, it spoke to us, and it had like this deep booming voice. And it told us, do not be afraid. You know, that's all well and good looking back. When you read about that in your books, that's all well and good, I understand. But I was freaked out. I was pretty scared, you know. But me and the other guys, we sat there and we listened for a little bit. We didn't run away. Anyways, this face told us that a Savior had been born in Bethlehem, and that it would be wrapped in cloth and laying in a manger. And I'm there thinking, wait a sec. Back the sheep herd up in a manger? I mean, really? I know what a manger is. It's where we feed the animals. It's disgusting. You don't put a kid in there. I mean, why not a cradle or something, you know? But in a manger, I mean, we put the food in there for the animals. They got their saliva in there. It's disgusting. That's what this face said. It said that the baby would be wrapped in cloth and laid in a manger. That this Savior, the Christ, in a manger, the Lord of all lords, was going to be laying in a manger. Man, I struggled with that. See, I I know what it's like not to lay in a manger, but to be near him. See, I'm a shepherd, and I've cleaned a lot of mangers, and I've cleaned a lot of stables, and I've done a lot of really dirty jobs. Been trying to work my way up. See, I got big dreams. My dreams don't involve me being a shepherd for the rest of my life. But you got to start somewhere. So I knew about this manger that they were talking about, what it was like. I couldn't believe that the Savior of the world would be laying in a manger. All this stuff was running through my head at the same time. And then this like whole army of angels started shining in the sky. It was more intense light than I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like the stars had fallen to earth in front of us. And they were praising God right there in front of us. It was amazing. There's no other word for it. It was just plain amazing. Well, as quickly as they came, they're gone. They just disappeared. And we were left there. Me and the other shepherds, our heads spinning, wondering what on earth had just happened. The other shepherds started talking about heading out to Bethlehem to see this Christ child. And I was on board with them, backing them. Yeah, we should go. It's the Lord and Savior. We should build him something besides a manger to lay in, you know? But yeah, we should go. We should go. And they were packing up, getting ready to go, and I was all on board with them. And then it hit me. He said, wait a second, Ben. What are you doing? What are you thinking, Ben? I mean, look at the time. I looked at my Timex. It was late. Can't just up and leave. It's late. I got to go to bed here in a little bit. Tired. I've been tending sheep all day. You know? But all these other guys, they were packing up. They were going to go. I started thinking about it again. Maybe I should go. Maybe I should go. Just to be part of the crowd at least, you know. I said, no, Ben, stop thinking like that. I can't just up and take off. It's a long ways to Bethlehem. I don't have any animal to ride. I'd have to walk all that way and then walk back before morning. That's a lot of work. I don't really want to do that. I can't go besides, you know. I got to take care of myself. It's me, myself, and I. I got to protect me. You know, like I said, I've got big plans. I've got to stick to my plan. I've got big plans. I don't intend on being a shepherd all my life. Someday I'm going to own the flock. Someday I'm going to be the rancher. And these shepherd guys, they're going to work for me. I got big plans in this world. I don't have time to be chasing down no Savior, Christ child. God brings the Savior in the world and puts it in a manger. It doesn't even make sense anyways. Got to stick to the plan. You know, I mean, in retrospect, it seems like a no-brainer. I should have went. But what was I supposed to do? I mean, I had responsibilities. I had a job. I had a future in mind. Besides, how could I know that he'd really be there? How could I know that he'd really be the Savior of the world? I mean, none of it made any sense. You know, I kept thinking, maybe it's just an elaborate joke. Maybe it's candid camera and these guys are going to get there and everybody's going to be laughing because, you know, there was no real Savior. It was just a big hoax. Maybe somebody was just trying to create an elaborate scheme to steal the sheep. Boy, that'd get us in trouble. Head shepherd would be really mad with us then. Maybe I just ate bad hummus at dinner, you know, and it just wasn't settling well, and I was just dreaming this whole thing. Maybe that's what it was. And yet, you know, somehow, deep in my heart, I knew it was true. I knew it was true. But even still, I sat there while the rest of the shepherds left one by one on their way to Bethlehem until I was all alone. See, I could have been part of the greatest event in the history of man. But I was too scared to follow. I was too scared to listen and to obey. Christ was right there, and I had a desire to see him, but I didn't. I just didn't have enough faith to go through with it. So what's my warning to you guys? What's my wise words of wisdom that I brought to share with you tonight? Don't miss the call of Christ like I did that night. Don't get so caught up in everything that's happening in your life and everything that's going on around you and all the plans that you've made to miss the only plan that counts. Because like he called me, he's calling you. And he wants you to follow him. How are you going to respond? Will you follow him?